Welcome back to us watching us jam games. Wyatt is on the right this time, Tim on the left. Tim brought his own Rograk playmat. As you know, he is a man of culture and refinement and attainment.
Attainment?
Attainment. Tim is done. He has an entire playmat to show for his... Alright, so he's on Death and Taxes. Wyatt is on Jund. Giver Rune's pretty good against this Ren 6 here.
Yeah.
You can't shoot it for one.
No.
I'm not convinced Giver of Runes it should be in Legacy Death and Taxes, but I'm not.
I think Mom is like...
Mom protects herself, but Ren 6 is banned in the format, so like it doesn't matter if she's an X1.
Tim plays this Thalia, and...
That's Thalia is generally pretty good against John.
I just plus on nothing, I think, and I don't know what I do. I don't remember this game very well.
Yeah, this is... I mean, so you can't minus on the Thalia because of the Giver. You'd have to burn a removal spell. There's just a lot of...
I think I just let Ren take 2 here, kill the thing. Something happens big this turn.
Arcana of Emeria.
I wipe his board this turn.
Do you really?
Yeah.
You get to cast one spell on his turn, one spell on your turn, and you somehow wipe his board.
You'll see.
Well, like, yeah, that's...
Yeah, I minus, play Liliana minus.
Wow, what a swing. My goodness. That was a really good turn.
Yeah.
That was really good.
I remember playing it. I was like, wow, nothing's better than this right now.
I am so good. It's unbelievable. And again, you have this dorky combo of Ren 6 and Liliana that like somehow just crushes everyone.
It's so good. It's like, you're with Liliana, you're able to like generate card advantage.
Yeah. Which
like normally you just can't do.
Well, it breaks the parity of the entire interaction, which why Liliana exists is because she's fair. Everybody has to discard.
Yeah.
But nope, not anymore. Wyatt just gets to not do that. So Tim has Stoneforge, which is one of his better cards against you for a Batterskull there. He's got 4 lands. Sometimes you don't want to get a Batterskull if you think your what's it called is going to die, but Tim is close enough to just casting it outright that it's probably a safe thing. Funny story, most of the time that I played with Stoneforge is in Legacy.
Yeah, same.
And like it's suicide to get Batterskull because Wasteland's in the format. But in Modern, it's actually not that bad. You can just go get it and then just wait and cast it.
I think he just casted this game at some point.
Yeah.
There's a turn where I think that like late into this game he gets 8 mana and like threatens just bounce cast it the next turn.
I know.
Like it's just really good.
Oh right, yeah. So you guys shortcutted a lot there. Tim is a good friend for letting you.
Yeah, I was like fetch, play Goyf.
Fetch, Goyf,
like,
path.
Okay,
Dude, only have to touch my library once. Thanks for saving me the time. You should have ghost quartered you then too.
Yeah, right.
Just to get it all out of the way. So Vial goes up to 1. Tim's passing and threatening this Batterskull activation. Here comes Ren 6 picking up a card. Liliana says we discard.
Yep. I'm ready for it. I feel like Liliana players are always ready to discard their card, whereas like the opponents, like I gotta think about it.
You know where it's gonna go. So I asked a judge once who decides first, because sometimes for whatever reason,
Liliana at the same time.
Well, the active player decides first.
You
put your card face down in the graveyard first. And I don't know why it was relevant. I don't remember what it was, but it was a big deal. I was at a Legacy tournament.
And it was a big deal or something?
I don't remember why.
Wow, this is Goyf into Tireless Tracker.
Yeah.
And I have my Tarmodai. Which is like way too small for it to be filmed correctly.
Yeah.
I think it's a 4/5 right now.
It says 3/4.
3/4.
Yeah. Gotcha. So you guys are, I mean, I don't think, is he attacking here?
Yeah, he attacks something, and I think...
If he's got a path, it's a blowout, honestly.
No, I don't double block. I think I want the Tireless Tracker really badly, so I just block with Goyf to save my Planeswalker, or I just let Liliana die. One of those two happens.
It's odd to me it's only a 3/4.
Yeah, so Liliana dies, Goyf goes up to a 4/5, which is, like, enough to block the...
It's just instant land creature, huh? And now it's Planeswalker?
Yeah.
Goyf is always a 4/5. It's just weird to me when it's not a 4/5.
Yeah, right? 4/5 is his most common stat line. I just Bloodbraided the Inquisition.
Yeah, Inquisition. Yeah. I played your deck. I said this before. I played your deck on Wednesday, and I Bloodbraided it into an empty board and hit a removal spell.
Really?
And that's the #1 rule of Bloodbraids. You don't do it onto an empty board. Everyone at home who's a magpie should know that these are foil Chinese original Bloodbraid elves and why it's
Japanese.
It's not. I'm pretty sure it's Chinese.
Are they Chinese? I don't remember.
I don't either.
I haven't like looked at them.
They're really cool.
So I had a clue there, but like I don't own clues, so I'm just using empty sleeves as clues, and it's just like really awkward.
Well, at least we're not filming it, you know.
Like, I also think I'd like put the dice on Tireless Tracker so late that like if we were in a real event, I probably wouldn't be able to put the dice on Tireless Tracker. I think I like draw and go to my main phase, play a Thoughtseize, and then put the dice on Tireless Tracker.
Hopefully Tim doesn't ever watch this because he'll know he got robbed. All right, so Thoughtseize is going to lead to a flashed in Flicker Wisp. What did exile?
I think he exiles...
I think he's thinking about it.
Yeah, I don't remember what he exiles, actually. It might be a Stoneforge.
I think that's actually a pretty good play, because you are pretty cold against Sword of Feast and Famine right here.
And then I don't remember how this game continues.
Do you guys keep playing, or do you just leave?
So I remember the dice on the second.
Yeah, he just went straight to 2. Yeah. All right, so Renin 6 is going to kill... Renin 6 is so good.
Right.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't put the empty sleeve next to my face down hand because it just looks like a pile of cards.
It looks exactly like that. You're right. All right, here comes a Nurturing Peatland to draw a card. Wait. All right. So I like this attack.
Yeah, I get to be very aggressive now.
Yeah. I mean, in Bloodbraid Elf, or not Bloodbraid Elf, what's it called? I mean, if he gets a Sword of Feast and Famine on this...
I have something for it. I don't remember what.
I
think, like, second main? No, this is... He does this in an step.
He's doing it in step, yeah.
I don't know how
he's actually getting Fire and Ice. Maybe he doesn't have a Feast and Famine in the main.
He does not.
Yeah.
He has Fire and Ice, Maul, and Batterskull.
I love Fire and Ice. I think it's one of the best cards. In Legacy, I like it because it kills every creature your opponents play.
And it gives you card advantage, which is huge.
Yeah.
Like, but I think in Modern...
I think you'd rather play Feast and Famine, yeah.
I don't... Not always.
No, I mean, so when Fire and Ice it works, it is amazing.
I think I killed the germ here. Yeah, there's the push on the germ.
Sure.
In response to Equip.
Yep. Cool. I mean, equipment, it's weird because equipment is bad. It's just like auras. It gets you blown out so often. Mm-hmm. But because of Stoneforge Mystic is so good, it makes a bad card type viable.
Yes. Which
is not something, it's hard to do, and it did it. Look at it go. So I think you are in a pretty commanding position here. Yeah. Skyclave is good.
He answers my...
Your
tracker.
I think that's a pretty good spot, or pretty good play. But you're already up on a few cards, aren't you?
Yes, I have. I know, like,
and here's a Bloodbraid.
Into a Bloodbraid.
Into a push.
And then with the push, I crack the clue, do that all stuff, and then attack for a lot. And then I have a 3/3.
Yeah.
6, whatever that is.
We'll find out here in a second. Tim goes
10.
to 3. 11.
Oh, it was 11.
12. 3, 6, Goist must be a 6 something.
Does he have an artifact in the graveyard?
No. All right. He doesn't. Maybe he lost more. It doesn't matter. The game's over. Timmy's on the play for game 2.
Timmy.
Why? Timmy T. That's what everybody calls him around these parts. I think being on the play is... If he has a Vial, I like his odds a lot more. Do you think he takes Vials out, or do you think that's just humans?
I think in this matchup, I think you take Vial out.
Well, so in humans, you take Vials out on the draw. So on the play, you would still want it.
I think you'd rather just have a card in your hand, because John just tries a 1-for-1, and Vial immediately puts you down a card.
So in humans, we're going to talk about a different deck that's not getting played. You can't outcard Jund at all. So you have to out-tempo them.
But you think this deck can outcard me?
But I think that maybe if it can outcard you, it might be an argument to take out the Vials. Because, like, Skyclave, Stoneforge, Flicker Wisp, all those guys can kind of go up on cards. And I think that's... But, I mean, also, I just could be wrong. It might be right to keep the Vials in and try and tempo you out.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, attack for 2 here. And then there's a bolt. You're so disciplined. I don't even... Oh, my gosh. Tim had the backup play, and you just walked right into it, pal.
I had to plan for it, though.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
You had no way of knowing.
He had Vial on 2, and I was like, I'll end-step bolt. If he plays another Thalia, I'll play Renin 6-.
Oh. Well, it's good you had a plan, I guess. All right.
Skyclave into another Thalia.
Is it really?
Yeah. I remember being annoyed by that, because I think I have, like, a Liliana in my hand, and I'm just like,
man,
God, this sucks.
How many Thalias can one guy have, honestly? Skyclave is a hell of a card.
Yes, it's very good.
I've been really, really impressed with it.
Scooz lose. I think I have 1 green mana up. So
Scooz is a good card, but I mean, it's a little overmatched here. I mean, I guess he doesn't have any good attacks into it.
It's technically a 3/3 right now.
Yeah.
I think I pull a path out of Tim here. Yeah.
He's got to do it.
I think I eat something, but like I know I don't because I want the.
You want the Goy to be bigger?
Yeah. And I don't. I net my life stays net even. So
yeah. So Tim putting you down to 12 with this attack. I'm not sure why the camera is crooked. I thought we fixed it.
It does look awkward.
Well, our apologies.
I think I fixed it in game 3.
Did you?
Yeah.
I think I come over and fix it at some point. I don't know.
Maybe we all try to fix it and just mess it up every time. He's just using Pyro, discard 2 spells, and just draw 2, make 2 1/1s.
Tim giving you tokens like a... Do you even have tokens?
I forgot to get tokens for this deck.
You work at a store and know you're going to be filming with no tokens. All right, dude.
I need to find good Pokemon cards
I
for
guess
tokens.
you do. I guess you do.
Like what are one good 1/1 elementals?
Elementals? I don't know. I have to Google it whenever I want a Pokemon.
Torchics would be pretty good.
See, I didn't even think about Torchics. That wasn't even on my radar. All right, so Tim's got a tough... I mean, he can attack here, but you can probably trade...
Yeah, I'm very good at trading at this point,
Yeah.
for sure. I think he goes and gets the skull.
The skull. That's pretty good here.
Yes, it breaks this board stall pretty quickly.
It also lets him, like, drag the game out. I don't think he needs to drag the game out, though.
Yeah, I think me being at 11... He's kind of the aggressor, but I don't know if it matters a ton.
I think let's say, like, so sometimes in Batter Skull matchups, you can get yourself to, like, 50 life. And I think if you don't stabilize the board, Jund has no problem killing you from 50. Like, they can take over the board and then just slowly kill you.
So here's a Thoughtseize, and I get to take Batter Skull or Sword of Feast or Fire and Ice, and I'm just like, well, that's a rough choice. But
it is a bad choice, actually. And you're at 8 now.
And I get to Lily. Oh, wow, I answered both of them. I don't remember answering both of them. That's awesome.
Oh, dude, so Thoughtseize into Lily is very good here, because either of those would have crushed you.
Yes, it would have.
They wouldn't have. I think Fire and Ice is actually worse for you here, because he can attack through all your stuff.
He can't. Everything's red right now.
Yeah, everything is red.
I think I have to burn a Maelstrom Pulse on this thing.
On the Giver?
Yeah, and I like feel so bad about it at some point, and I think I minus Liliana, Saxa Stoneforge, and I don't remember if I do it now.
I mean, you might as well.
Yeah, there's the Maelstrom Pulse. Or Assassin's Trophy. Yeah. I was like, can't let this thing get in a free attack.
No. Yeah, your life total is very... you're on the edge of... Like, yeah, if he just, like, draws and then flashes in a Flickerist or something, it's pretty easy for you to die out of nowhere. Tim's got good-looking planes. Like those old ones. Cool. Cashing in a land for Wyatt. Liliana's ticking down again. That's a heads-up play. I always try to keep my planeswalkers around for too long.
Yeah, I think there's a Maelstrom Pulse.
Yeah.
I was like, I felt so bad when I did that.
You use some premium removal spells to get rid of these things, especially because you used one last turn.
Yeah.
Rats. So in response, so there's a lot of, who's doing this? I'm doing that.
So in response to Leon Rubber, I'm fetching.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, well, I'll Ghost Quarter once it resolves, and like I'll just pay the 2. And we have like a conversation about it.
Yeah.
I think I attack for 2 here again. And then
yeah, I'm actually impressed with you pushing these attacks through.
Yeah, I think I think I'm a bit too aggressive with these. In all honesty,
I was like, man, I would not have attacked there for sure. But like, you know what you did? Yeah. So this is one of the games where the Leonin Arbiter just doesn't do anything.
No.
It's it's such a high upside, like terrible downside cards.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so gonna cash in this thing here. So Tim's got something he's thinking about. I don't know what it is. What was the interaction that ended up leaving the Ghost Quarters on the table? Do you remember? There was something that precipitated it.
Yeah, later.
Is it still later?
Yeah,
This video's not got a lot of time left.
Yeah, I think I just like eventually just play Raging Ravine.
All right, so there's we'll for everyone at home, we'll tell you the spoilers. Wyatt eventually kills Tim with a Raging Ravine while Tim has 2 Ghost Quarters in play, and something happens. Oh, I think he tries to Skyclave Apparition it.
Yeah, so here's an EE on 3.
EE on 3 is so good right now. That's very nice.
I think he attacks with both. I block the Leonin Arbiter, take 2, go to 1.
You take this damage?
I was worried he had a Maul in hand.
You are so disciplined, it doesn't make any sense. How could you possibly do this?
And then I was popped it, and I'm like, I have a 2/2 now.
Yep.
I think I should have popped it earlier, in all honesty. I think if I pop it earlier, my fetches are still live.
So not go to 1?
Yeah, because I drew a fetch, I think this turn and play it.
So here's the first attack with the
Ravine, and he tries, and then he tries to exile the token.
Yeah.
But it says non-token, non-land permanent.
Yeah. So the Skyclave can't exile the token, and it also can't exile the Ravine. And we were talking to Tim afterwards. And Tim
See, here's
just
a ghost quarter.
yeah, Tim got it in his head that he couldn't kill the ravine.
Yeah.
And it somehow like just transposed itself to being
Tim
I just
in
can't
his
kill
mind,
it.
he has to play path to kill the ravine.
Yeah, exactly. He started
Yeah.
trying to draw a path instead of trying to, and like the ghost quarter's just sitting there, and it's just on the top of the pile.
Yeah, like my Raging Ravine is just sitting up there, and a ghost quarter's on top of his lands,
yeah.
and it's just like, well, this is a bit off.
It's just
It
like
sucks. Yeah.
Tim's a very confident player. This is just it's those things that happen to you sometimes. You just get into a certain line or a certain place pattern, and that's what you're looking for. Like he's just trying to draw a path.
Yeah, and then I had the bolt till I just finished him off, and it was like, well, that's rough. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.